Today I'm going to show you how to make these adorable little frog charms using polymer clay. You can find links to all the tools I'm using in the description below. To get started, I'm grabbing a small chunk of green clay and rolling it into a ball. Once I have a nice round ball, I'm going to gently press it between my fingers to flatten it like a pancake. I rotate the clay as I continue to pinch in order to flatten it evenly. I'm continuing to pinch and rotate to create a nice even surface, and touching it up a bit more once it's on my paper. I'm taking the back edge of a razor blade and making a gentle indentation across the middle of my lily pad. I press onto the opposite side to make an X. I make another indentation in the middle of the X, and again on the other side in the middle. I'm turning my razor blade around to the sharp side. I'm using the sharp end to cut a triangular slice from the lily pad. The color of the clay will come off onto your fingers, so whenever you switch colors, you'll want to grab some hand sanitizer, rub it into your fingers, and then wipe it off with a paper towel. You'll want to do this so that you don't contaminate the next color that you use. You can make your frog whatever color you want. I'm going to make one of my frogs a light yellowish green, while the other frog is going to be a pale green color. I'm rolling a small circle about the size of the tip of my pinky finger, and then rolling two very small balls. Once I'm happy with the smaller balls, I'm gently flattening them into a pancake with my finger. I'm using the razor to cut off the bottom edge of these circles. Now attaching the circles to the top of the head. In order to make sure the clay stays attached, I'm using the side of my needle tool to attach the clay. I'm rolling two more small balls of clay. I roll the ball into an oval shape and then gently flatten it. I do the same with the other ball. So now I have two flat oval pancake shapes. I attach these ovals onto the side of my frog. Now I make two tinier balls. I roll them into ovals and flatten them as well. These are the frog feet. I attach them to the bottom of the legs. I'm using a dotting tool to make indentations for the eyeballs, then cleaning my fingers and grabbing some black clay. I'm rolling a tiny piece of clay into a snake. I use my razor to cut off two evenly sized pieces. Then I roll the pieces into a nice round ball. I want my eyes to be slightly bigger than this, so I'm starting over with two slightly bigger pieces of clay and then rolling them into balls. I carefully stick the balls into the eye sockets. Next, I'm rolling out an even tinier snake. I'm trimming off the end and then curling it a bit so it looks like a smiling mouth. If you find this too difficult, you can bake your frog without a mouth, and then after baking, draw a mouth onto your frog using an ultrafine Sharpie. This is way easier and it will look great. Now I'm ready to stick my frog onto the lily pad. Your flower can be any color you want, but mine's going to be pink. I'm rolling a tiny ball, then I'm pressing down the ball to flatten it into a pancake. I'm using the razor to make 6 cuts into the circle. These cuts will turn into the petals. I'm using the needle tool to shape the petals and give them more definition. I'm also using my fingernails a bit here. Once you're happy with how your flower looks, you're ready to add the center of the flower. I'm using the dotting tool to make a small indentation, then placing the flower onto the lily pad. Next, I'm rolling out a tiny ball of yellow clay and adding it to the center of my flower. But I'm not done yet. I just made a second frog, and now I'm going to show you how you can make a cute crown for your frog. But first, if you're new to my channel, please support me by subscribing and be sure to check out all of the other amazing art videos, art lessons, and art tutorials on my channel, Rainbow Parrot Art. Okay, we're back and I'm grabbing some yellow clay for the crown. I'm rolling it into a nice round ball and then squishing it to make it flat. Next, I'm cutting off the bottom using the edge of the razor. I'm making a slanted cut on the left and another slanted cut on the right. I'm adding more cuts to make a zigzag pattern on the top of the crown. I want there to be 3 points at the top. It's a little tricky to do, so it might take you a couple of tries and you might need to reshape the pointed edges a bit. Next, I'm adding the crown on top of the head and securing it using the needle tool. You can put your froggies on a cookie sheet and bake them at 270 degrees for 30 minutes. Once my frogs are done and they've cooled off a bit, I'm using a paintbrush to add a thin coat of UV resin and then placing them outside in the sun for about 5 minutes to cure. These are my finished froggies. Up next, be sure to check out this video where I show you how to make an adorable Loch Ness monster. You're going to love it.